The Shepnaz Podcast begins now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Shepnaz Podcast. I am your host, Pastor Zack. And listen, this is actually a unique day for me, Pastor Brett, because when I come on the podcast, before I was ever a host, I was with Joe, I was with Noah, or I was with Pastor Rob. And so today is my actual first time hosting with someone else who isn't Noah or Rob. And so,
I'm
Pastor
so
Brett,
honored.
I'm just so stoked that you are here with me, my friend.
Yeah, man, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. And if you don't know, this is our children's pastor, Pastor Brett, who is getting ready to be an ordained elder in the Church of the Nazarene here.
This is true. Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully. You're in, baby. You're in.
We got a couple hurdles yet, but hopefully good.
Yeah, man. No, that's exciting. You've worked really hard on this. God has put an awesome call in your life, and this is just a really cool moment. So if you don't have plans, what's the date for ordination again? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's April 26th and 27th, so I think the first day is ordination
26th,
service.
Yeah.
26th.
So if you're not doing anything on April 26th at Grove City Church of Nazarene, a.k.a. the Naz, come be a part of this. Come support Pastor Brett and all the hard work that he's done, because having just got ordained last year, it's a really cool moment. It's a culmination of, one, just a lot of work put in, but two, a culmination of getting an official stamp on God's call in your life in the Church of Nazarene. So
pretty pumped.
That's my plug for you, pal. I'll be there with a bullhorn and my face painted. I'm going all out. We'll see if I get kicked out. I'm just kidding. I won't paint my face.
Oh.
Or will I? No, I'm just kidding.
You have to come to see.
Yeah, exactly. Only one way to find out. Why did you come to ordination? I wanted to see if he actually painted his face.
He didn't do it.
He didn't do it. Sorry, I won't let you down. But that's not why we came here today, is it, Pastor Brett?
I suppose not, no.
Hey, you have, if you're watching on a format where you can see, you got a little something going on in your hands there. You want to explain what that is and why you might be holding that in your hands,
Yes.
Pastor Brett?
Of
What
course.
is
This is my shiny blue cereal bowl I eat my Fruit Loops out of in the morning. No, this is half of a giant Easter egg.
Yeah.
Or shall I say, a Palm Sunday egg.
Oh.
Because this is the second year in a row that Shepherd is coming back around, and Shepnaz Kids is hosting I guess we didn't call it an Eggapalooza last year, but a special event for kids and families on Palm Sunday.
Yes. Can
So
you say that title one more time, loud and proud?
the Palm Sunday Eggapalooza.
Ooh, I love it. I love it.
It's a team effort. I always like when we're planning for stuff like this, I pitch a few things to the team, and it's just, I can't 100% effectively predict what the final choice is going to be every time. I'm always like, oh, that wasn't a good one, but we're going with Eggapalooza. All right, let's do it.
I do. I love seeing, like, I always get in my head like, oh, this person's going to for sure answer with this one. And then it never is that.
Yeah.
So I love the way that goes.
It's fun.
But yeah, so we're doing Eggapalooza on Palm Sunday. What is Eggapalooza? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So as the name implies, there will be some eggs involved. But basically, just to give you the rundown of what things are going to look like, first of all, it's March 29th. Mm-hmm. It is a Sunday morning. And basically, if you come to our Gahanna campus very often, you know that we have 9 and 10:45 services each week on Sunday mornings. Yep. But on the 29th of March, we're just going to have one service that starts at 9 a.m. And then immediately following that service, we are going to have our Eggapalooza. And so basically what we're anticipating is this is an opportunity for us as a church to reach out into our community, open up our space so that if you've never been to this campus of this church before, you can come in and see what it's like. Especially if you're a parent that has kids, you might want to see the space that their kids would be involved in children's ministry here. And then also just gives us a chance as a church family to love on our community and provide a safe place and a fun place for families to make memories together.
Absolutely.
So part of that, well, I was thinking like we're in this process right now where we're thinking through like our mission and our direction as a church as we're working our way towards our 100th year anniversary, right? And part of that is like we're talking about being people that help people take their next step with Jesus. Mm-hmm. And one of the aspects of that, one of the ways that we do that is by stepping in to love our families well. Mm-hmm. And I think as a church organization and also as the families that make up this church, if we can provide a space and a time for families to laugh together, to play together, to create memories together, and to celebrate things that the church has been about celebrating for as long as the church has been around,
Right.
capital C church that is, then I think that is a win for us. So
100%.
pretty pumped about this. So some of the things that we're going to have going on, first of all, what it'll look like after you're following the 9 a.m. service, you'll just cross over to the other side of the lobby and come into the central complex here at Gehenna. And that's where our pancake breakfast is going to get kicked off.
Heyo.
So, yeah, I mean, you got to start with food. And I think this is something that I'm really excited about this year, just to give people a chance to sit and just eat together.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that. I think the best way that you can spend time with someone is to eat with them and share a meal.
100%.
So there's going to be pancakes, sausage, orange juice. I think that we're going to have some coffee as well.
Nice.
So it'll be just a good time to eat together. And then following that, we're going to kind of give some instruction about what the rest of the morning is going to look like. So we're actually doing this kind of 2 times through because we don't know how many people are going to be coming.
Right.
And the central complex can only hold so many people, and you can only...
Historically, it's been a pretty well-attended event for us here at Shepherd.
Yes.
Around the Easter season.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. So, and we want to give everybody enough time to get their pancakes and whatnot, and give them a chance to eat that. So we're going to do it in 2 rounds, one at 10:15 and one at 11:30. But following the time of eating together, we're going to give some directions, and families will actually exit the door that goes towards the church office building, which most folks probably don't use on a regular occasion. So we'll give them some directions for that.
Yeah.
But then it'll kind of be behind the church. We have like a grassy yard, which most people, I mean, I don't know if most of us have even really been out there very much.
Yeah, it's a very underutilized large area of grass that I know the school uses a little bit for gym, but it's going to be used quite a bit that Sunday.
Yeah. So we'll have egg hunts. We have 4 different age levels. So there's going to be kind of like, we didn't have this last year, but this year we're going to have a space for like crawlers, because
that's fun.
Even like preschoolers that are running, you have kids that are younger than them that you don't really want in the same space. So
don't want to watch your children get plowed over by bigger kids.
Yes, right. We're trying to protect the kiddos. So we'll have a space for them, and then also just preschool, which is like 3 to 5 year olds generally, and then K through 2 and 3 through 5. All of those will have different spaces, which should help us to be able to do this in a safe manner and in a fair manner, as fair as possible.
For sure. That's awesome. No, I think that's a really big deal for me as a parent.
Yeah.
You know, there's one thing that I really enjoy, because I've been a victim of watching my oldest steal all of the eggs from my youngest, who was at the time much slower and a lot less aggressive than she is now.
Sure.
Which also scares me for kids younger than my youngest, who she might be a little too aggressive for. So I appreciate your thoughtfulness on that as a parent.
Yeah, I think it's funny the things that you hear about as a children's pastor, and there are our world has its fair share of unfortunate egg hunt stories regarding kids in competition. So try and make it as safe as possible. But there's going to be a lot of other fun stuff that families can do together. So we'll have a couple of inflatables. I'm pretty pumped about that. We're also going to have a little area with some real life animals that some of our little friends and grown-ups too will get to check out for sure. And right now I'm working on kind of a creative and fun kind of artsy thing for the kids and parents to do together that I'm pretty pumped about too.
Nice.
And more things to come too. But I think the thing that I'm most excited about with this, and like I love this in all of our events that we kind of focus on kids. You see this every time, is just kids and parents, or kids and their friends just making memories together in this space. Yeah. And if you don't know me very well, you might not know that like I grew up in the church, and I think that these memories are so valuable in identifying the church as a place where you belong. Like especially for kids as we're growing up, to be able to look back, and I have all these memories of when I was in kids ministry here, whether it was like a music, the Christmas musical that we used to do when I was a kid, or like Trunk or Treat when I was a kid. Like I have so many memories and so many friends that I built in those formative years of life, and to create a space for kids to make those friendships, and for parents to do these things with their kids. Like it's not like we're going to have all this fun stuff, but we're here to celebrate for a reason. It's Palm Sunday, and that is 7 days away from Easter, which is like the biggest celebration of the year. And so we're celebrating the triumphant entry of Christ into Jerusalem, riding on the donkey. And like, it is an exciting time. And we've been in this Lent season, and the excitement is building and building and building each week, and we're almost there. And so to get to celebrate that season together, and the kickoff of Holy Week, that is Palm Sunday, I think that's really special that we get to celebrate that, and for our families to get to celebrate that together.
100%. Yeah, I love that. One of the things you and I were kind of talking about before we hit record on the podcast, and I want to unpack with you a little bit, is, one of the things that we really strive for, no church is perfect at this, but I think we make it a point when we're looking at an event that we're doing, right? Or we're looking at some kind of gathering that we want to do. It's really easy in any church or in anybody's life, right, to get really busy really quick. And if you don't know, if you're listening to this or watching this, like, ministry is pretty busy.
Oh, it is.
We do a lot of things around here. And I think it's, one of those things where we have to, as pastors, balance, like, we could do something every day of the week, right? But are we filling up our schedule, and are we giving people an opportunity to do something that's meaningful? And I guess, what does meaningful look like, right? Because we could maybe have the argument, right? Or maybe have the conversation of like, well, are people getting saved at the egg hunt? And if they're not getting saved, if we don't have like a guaranteed prayer tent, are we being successful as a church?
Yeah.
And that there's some honest points in that mindset. But one thing that I love that you just mentioned, and again, I love Pastor Brett, if you don't know this, for multiple reasons. One, we just get along and I love working with you. But two, I have kids in your ministry. And so I watch you like a hawk. I'm just kidding. That's not true. But I often get to hear feedback, on your ministry from the perspective of my kids.
Yeah.
And they love it. Like, they love being here. One thing, and maybe I'll just peel back the page a little bit in my book and be honest and transparent, is, as a pastor, one of the things that I fear as a parent and as a pastor is that my kids live in this building, like literally.
Yeah.
They go to school here. They are here when I am at rehearsals late at night. They are here for church events. They are here for both services every single Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, they live in this space. And I never want them to get to a point where they are resentful of me or of the church, because I always had to go. I have to go to kids' church again. I have to do this. And what I love is that you have created a ministry and a space where not only do they love being here and like they look forward to coming, this isn't a burden for them, but they're learning. Like, the amount of times that I think you and I have had this conversation where they'll never tell me what they learned when I pick them up. Ever. Yeah. It's always like, what'd you talk about today? We played a game with dice, or I painted a picture. I'm like, yeah, but what'd you talk about in the Bible? I don't remember. But what I've learned with my kids is bedtime's the best time, because one, they actually settle down enough to like just hang out with you. And two, their minds that are racing all day finally get to just like calm down and unpack what has happened. And so nighttime's my favorite, because they always tell me like, well, we were talking about, story XYZ. And, did you know Zacchaeus would climb a tree because he wanted to see Jesus. And then Jesus invited him to have a meal with, just like all these little times. And I'll even share this with you, and then I'll stop talking because I want to hear your opinion on this too.
Sure.
The little things that I'm noticing that like, I love having a good children's pastor in my life and my kids' life, because it shows, the fruit of it shows throughout their normal life. I had a interesting morning with my kids. Mornings are not our favorite time of day in the household in the Zaborski house. And my youngest was having a day. She was just, nothing was good today. The shirt she was wearing was not good enough. And the socks she was wearing were not comfortable. And so there was not much joy happening in our house. And so we get in the car, which I'm so stoked to drive 25, 30 minutes in morning traffic with a screaming kid in the back. And we get in, and normally they'll like ask me like, hey, can we listen to Disney songs? Can we listen to Taylor Swift? Can we do, whatever.
Yeah, right.
And today I was like, we're listening to the radio because I'm not taking requests today. Like, we're not playing that game. And so she's screaming. I turn on the river. Shout out to the river. And I don't even know what song it was, but we started playing, like, we didn't even get to the end of the street, and she had calmed down. And next thing I know, we're turning on to Taylor Road, and I just hear her little singing in the back seat. And then that little singing turned to loud singing. Then I hear clapping, and then they're both back there giggling and laughing. And I literally 5 minutes later was like, Olive, you in a better mood? And she goes, yeah, I think I just needed to worship this morning.
Aww.
And I was like, they're getting it, man.
Yeah.
And so I just want to selfishly say, thanks for being a good kids pastor, because they're catching on. But that was my very ADD way of asking, when we do an event like this, does it have to be a certain thing? Like, can we be evangelistic just by having the joy of the Lord in an event? Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Man, you just added some stuff to my answer with your story too. I love that. I think we can be evangelistic without essentially like an altar call at every event. And there are a few reasons why I could say that. Like, there was a book I read in college that talked about basically like milestones in an individual's like faith story. And I think that oftentimes what we don't recognize, especially within the church, is that there may be milestones prior to meeting the saving grace of Christ. Yeah. And especially like I'm a kids pastor, I'm hardwired and designed and hired to think on behalf of kids and families. Right. And I'm thinking about like parents that today they need to know that a space is safe. They need to see that their kids will be like seen in a place and cared for before they're deciding to put their trust in a place that they're going to leave their kids at. And that's not an easy thing to do. And part of this, the goals of these kinds of events, it is establishing that trust and establishing that communication of this is a safe place. This is a place where your kids are going to be loved and cared for and where they will belong. And I think that's part of it. And also, what you were speaking to is just like living in the joy of the Lord. And we're going to celebrate and we're going to invite others to join this celebration. And that's kind of a witness to Christ in and of itself. Like, why are they so excited? Why are they celebrating? What is the big deal? Like, it's a Sunday afternoon. I could just be at home doing whatever right now. But here we are singing and shouting and jumping up and down and playing games and having fun together. Yeah. And I think that's really important to invite people into that. And then also just like, I guess maybe we need to protect ourselves in that, to say like, like there is definitely like a big part of our job is hoping and praying and being a friend and even a guide at times to others, leading them to Christ. But the job also doesn't end there. Right. Not even for kids. Right. And so we have kids that are already a part of this church or have given their life to Christ. And the question becomes, now what? Right. And we can invite them through stuff like this into a celebration within the church, within their brothers and sisters in Christ, to celebrate and enjoy this time together. Right. And that's something that can be cast aside and just be looking on to the next folks that haven't yet heard the good news, but our own people get to celebrate this as well. And I think that's a really exciting part. Oh, 100%. And I think it's, it's a call to all of us right now. We're all called to live like Jesus, not just talk about him. Yeah. I think a lot of people assume that, what it looks like to evangelize is to stand on a street corner with your Bible and yell Bible verses at people. And though, we all have different gifts, some are called to be teachers and preachers and apostles and prophets and all these different things, but we've all been called to live like Jesus, and we've all been called to go into the world and make disciples. And I think this is a really cool opportunity where it's, a little less intimidating to go to a neighbor or go to a family that that is unchurched and say like, hey, we got this cool thing going on at our church. It's going to be fun. We're going to feed you. It's free. Yeah, it's free. Exactly, which is not something that you hear a lot these days. And you get to have a fun event in a safe environment around a bunch of people who live and look and love like Jesus. And you get to hear the good news of it while we celebrate, this amazing event that took place. I think it's a really cool opportunity. So as we wrap it up, I think that's my challenge, and I'm sure you would agree, is invite somebody. Yeah. Pick a neighbor. If you just right now, as you're hearing this, pick that one family that you have been just had on your heart to ask to come to this event. And that's our challenge to you, is ask those people. So Pastor Brett, remind us one more time as we're heading out, the times and the date. Yeah, March 29th. It is a Sunday morning following the 9 a.m. service. So we're going to start once at 10:15 and once at 11:30. So we hope to see you guys there. It's going to be awesome. Well, hey, if you have any questions about the event or you want to donate some candy, we can always take more candy. Oh, yeah. Please reach out to us at podcast@shepnaz.org and share this event on Facebook and all the socials. Invite your friends. We love you guys so much. Thank you, Pastor Brett, for joining us today. It was awesome to have you. And so for Pastor Brett, I'm Pastor Zack. Have an epic day. Bye, guys.
This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gahanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.
That looks insane.